This is the Bill Squire Show.
But not like Saint Nick. It's like dollars. It's like it's like $AINT. But you don't say $sign ain't Nick. It's just Saint Nick. But that's just what my bitches call me. And it's like, dude, he's so good.
He's a genius.
He's just you just leave Brett alone and put him on.
Let him do what he does.
Just
right?
boo
Let
him.
him do what he does. Hey everybody, welcome to the Bill Squire Show. I am your host, Bill Squire. I'm here with AJ DiCosimo.
Hello.
Tommi LC.
Hi.
Tommy's back.
I'm back.
And we have a guest this week. It is second time you've been on the, I think third time you've been on the show, Raj Sursh.
Hello, hello.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you, bud.
Pleasure to be here with all of you.
Good to have you here.
I've talked into microphones so much with you.
Yeah.
We've done 2 episodes of Bill Squire Show together, I think.
Mm-hmm.
At least one, and then we did the Steve Murs radio show together.
Yeah, we did. We've spent a fair amount of time
Besties.
also just yelling at each other.
Yeah, well, more like me yelling really loud at you in an open park.
Could you move a little bit that way?
Yes.
Oh, well, I can move this. I can see you. Just because I'm trying to frame you up.
Oh.
Up the other way. There you go.
Yeah, I
There
see
you go.
it.
All right. Hey, so we
There it
are
is.
live on YouTube. I'll be posting this as well. Let me get the YouTube.
I
up
forgot about that.
that we're gonna be live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you do all of this, Bill?
Yep.
So you record it and you're live switching?
Yep.
Jeez.
I'm a talented
That's
man.
what-
I have.
that's
many
why they
skills.
pay
He's
us.
the most talented white man in tech.
That's why
It's Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Squire in that order.
So
you
close.
and
Coming
you've been,
for you, Zuck.
You've been saying that for years.
I've been saying it forever. He's just that good.
So let's actually. The last time you were on was just before you started. I think you just were about to film your special,
Right.
which you bookended with filming a pilot for a TV show.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of things to work on. And
Yeah.
AJ was working on that pilot with you.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, we got saucy, is what Well, first of all, let's start with the fact that that week was so busy that it almost killed, I think, everybody that was attached to both projects.
Yeah.
And the only person attached to both projects was me,
Mhm.
and then Lito, who's the guy that's producing both of them. But I think AJ and we butted heads even in the lead up to all of this, right?
But
Like
it was
writing
productive.
It was
headbutting.
productive.
Okay,
It was
but
good
who-
headbutting.
no,
I would totally
Stop
write
it.
with
Who
you.
was
Yeah.
right?
Who was right? I was wrong. Okay, I was wrong to leave. I own that.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay.
All right. So you guys are button heads on your way to the beginning of the production.
Right.
You get into it. Things are taking a while. There's, it's a lot to do.
Right.
It's a lot.
Right.
And AJ has a day where he's just
AJ had a big day.
very, very.
AJ had a very
irritated.
unholy task in front of him. Let's give credit where it's due, right?
All right.
Like we put AJ in front of a gargantuan task, a
Yeah.
Herculean task,
Right.
wherein if he succeeded, it would come out with a okay result,
Right.
and if he failed, it would just look bad
Yeah.
on AJ. So those were the unfair things that were created in that environment, in and around what AJ was trying to do.
Trying to use this to give you
Yeah.
a better light.
No, sure, yeah, because
There.
I'm very brown. But no. To AJ's credit, right?
Mhm.
The project wouldn't have even reached the starting line of filming.
Actually,
If-
can you hit
if it-
the light over there? Not you.
Oh.
No, Tommy, can you
We're
hit
never gonna
the
get the
light
fucking
switch?
story.
Light switch.
Oh,
Light switch.
literal light.
Yeah.
The
The lower one.
starts
The lower
saying
one.
something
Hit
nice
up.
about me.
Hit
Turn
the
up.
up line.
Yeah, there we go. There we
it
go.
is. Oh,
There we go.
Is that
Yeah.
good?
I'll
That's
just
good.
lean
That's better.
back so the light catches my face
Yeah.
fully.
Yeah.
No, AJ was up against a gargantuan task. I think all of us were, and I just think a lot of what happens when you're trying to produce something
Uh-huh.
quickly and back to back, right? Like the special is one thing, but to try
Right.
to go off and then do something with whatever.
Because it was
20,
literally
30
you
people.
started filming the night after the special.
The more, yeah,
Yeah,
I had
like,
about 7 hours
like
of sleep.
You did the special, and then you're
I
filming.
had a totally appropriate amount of sleep. the
Yeah.
night before.
No, it was.
You're like, I only had like 7 hours of sleep.
No. I didn't actually sleep. I had 7 hours in which I could have slept.
Oh, right.
But
okay,
we stayed
okay.
up and
Right.
drank until
Yeah.
about, not you and I, but I stayed up
Yeah.
drinking until about 4 in the morning. And it works because the character in the pilot is kind of like this alcoholic guy who's having a
and he works
derangement.
method. He's a method actor.
He's a method actor.
So
It worked
Yeah.
out because I showed up on
Yeah.
set sweating fireball out of my pores.
We actually had that moment in the
So
read
tired.
through where like I'm gonna show up drunk on set. I'm like, don't do that. You're like, I'm method. I'm like, have you tried acting?
I remember.
And that's
yeah.
where all the problems began.
AJ pulled me outside of the room, and it was nice of him to do it.
Yeah.
Like, on the side, but he was like, "Hey, you've got to stop drinking because whatever you're doing with this scene, it progressively gets worse with each
Right.
take."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay," and then I kind of did stop drinking, and then I didn't.
Yeah, then you kept going.
But it worked
Yeah.
out in the sense that like the whole purpose of producing what we were trying to produce was like a proof of concept, right? So
Right.
we're not trying to sell this pilot episode to a Netflix. We're trying to sell them on the idea that this could be 7 episodes or 8 episodes, whatever network, Netflix, Roku, whatever. I don't care. But I think the difference and what you realize in these processes is that some people are like me, which
Mhm.
is just like, let's just ragtag it, get it like 80-20 policy. 80% of it is good, 20% of it is shit, but we're going to push it closer towards the finish line, and we'll operate under that guise because we're all we have a pretty restricted knowledge base. And then there's AJ who just creates brilliant work for like the New Yorker and then wants to replicate that standard of
Wait,
work
You're
consistently.
creating brilliant work for the New Yorker. What am I not paying you for?
I dressed up like a fucking mime 2 weeks ago and brought an Arby's sandwich.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say brilliant.
I love that. I love that.
Oh,
no,
did
that
you
was
like that?
that
Yeah,
was
I did like
fantastic.
that,
That was giving. I think the Arby's sandwich as a present was just like the icing on the cake. Like that
Yeah.
was such a funny thing to hand to somebody for a birthday present.
Yeah.
So yeah. It was so what was it, day 2 of filming where we
Where
had like the big blowout with the lady at the cafe?
I had my explosion. I don't even remember, dude. The
I think it
days
was the
running
second day
together.
because we did the group scenes the first day.
Yeah, we did.
And those were tough. That was a 16-hour day. Some of these extras were literally on set 11, 12 hours with a single dialogue just in the background. And
It wasn't 16 hours. It was 11 hours.
it was only
We went-
11 hours.
We went from noon to
They're
11
arguing
PM.
again.
No. But that's exactly what it was like. Yeah, we butted heads, but that's how we did it. It
I
was
just,
like,
I kind of like, I think you said it, Lito said it, a couple of people told me, like, once this script leaves your hands and
Yeah.
it gets into the directing,
Yeah.
like, just act.
Right.
And that's all I wanted to do. I just kind of wanted to, like, play the background, just be the role. So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you guys are still friends after all that.
Oh,
I'm
I
glad,
love
like,
AJ.
oh
That-
yeah,
that
I
will
would,
never
I would,
change.
I would,
And
I would.
and we'll write future episodes
Yeah.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would do it all over again. I said, this is what I will say. I said this to you before.
Yeah.
I was wrong to leave.
Yeah.
I also, on the flip side of that, don't regret it because you wouldn't have gotten me if I would have came back. It would have
Right.
been like, let's just fucking.
Let's
You
crush through it.
needed the other guys to step in.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the only way to make it right is for me to like date your sister and then leave her 2 weeks in before the marriage and just call it a date.
That wouldn't affect me.
You
in
got a
any
couple
way.
sisters though, right?
I have
Well,
two.
you
They're
guys-
both married.
Yeah.
Do you really have
I
siblings?
I have a biological brother, and I have 2 stepsisters. Yeah.
But the biological
wow.
brother is single.
Yeah, he is single.
Well, there you go. So
you
it's
can
gotta
do
be
it.
That's your
Everything's
man, Raj.
possible. You can do
no
it. I mean, you're one of them
stepsisters.
progressive.
If he's Chris
Indians.
Martin, I will take him.
I'm sorry, I called you a progressive Indian. I meant progressive guardian.
No, I'm more of a Geico Indian. Progressive, the rates are too high.
Oh, that's true.
They don't work for me.
He's a Geico Indian. He's a gecko.
So you filmed the special.
Yeah.
I know you just got the footage back, so
So
you're starting to
Saturday,
do-
Saturday, I have to sit there
And,
and
like,
got
start
all the
editing it.
timelines.
Yeah.
Like I literally actually have your footage,
Yeah.
Mary's footage, Brian's footage from
Yeah.
like before, like
So
my
you did
set.
not bring the footage tonight. Like
I
was
have it.
hoping.
It's actually I have all that.
You have it with you tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. I have to walk about 2 blocks to get it from the car, but I have it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so I have your footage. I have everybody's footage, but the footage aligned with the sound and all like so it's 5 angles.
Right.
So you could get the center cam angle from me anytime, but to get some of the other angles look beautiful. Like
Yeah, no, it was
the gimbal shots when
the
they're
gimbal
moving
shots.
through the crowd.
The one that you showed me of
slider
Mary was
cam,
great, man.
yeah.
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it to all come together and,
Yeah.
you know, for you to put it out. I filmed mine a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that.
I'm excited for that too. Tommy was at one of the tapings.
Mhm.
What'd you think, Tommy?
It was fun. Yeah, a lot of fun.
What'd you think about his jokes?
Oh, I've seen him before.
Okay.
I think I've seen most of them for that show.
Really?
Yeah.
I done a lot of new stuff.
Turn off live stream immediately.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was all the same
Phil
as
pulls out a
usual.
gun and brandishes it in front of.
No,
Tommy.
it was fun.
Taking the piss
No,
out of
we
me.
talked about it.
I'm just,
I mean,
my heart and soul.
But hey, I was
Phil, I
speaking
love you, I
of the
was kidding.
special of your special taping.
Yeah.
You had a really cool lineup of guys opening for you. I think Gabe was on there, Mickey was on there.
yeah,
Who else? Marty.
Mary, Marty.
And speaking of Marty, his car got stolen.
Yeah,
so if
yeah.
you know who did it,
Yeah.
watch out because there's a schizophrenic man that will find you and burn your home down to get that car back.
Don't fuck with Martin Malloy.
Nope.
He's brilliant. That guy's
Yeah, he's so
Yeah.
good.
solid.
So yeah, that went really well. So like that now it's I'm gonna start editing that soon, and I'll have details on when that's coming out,
Nice.
and I'm excited about all that. I also like we're gonna get to Corn Kid. You're mad about Corn Kid. You're
I'm-
mad about the Queen.
Yeah.
But before we
Wait,
get into that, I want
Daddy?
to talk a little bit about
Yeah, did she die?
some stuff that my daughter's been having
Oh.
kind of a rough time like with her mental health, and I know Tommy is someone that's kind of. I mean, I'm someone that struggled with it. I know Tommy has. I know you have.
Yeah.
And I just want to know, like, when you're in that space where, like, you're manic or, you know, whatever it is, and you, like, literally can't think straight, you can't get to a point of, like, focusing and doing anything other than focusing on what's making you kind of spiral. What have you done in the past to, like, break out of that? Because I'm, like, you know, I'm trying to
Yeah,
give her advice,
sure.
trying to help her do it, but there's only so much I can say before it like takes her to make that
How
take that
old is
step.
she?
23.
And what's kind of like? Is there like a
BPD
core
is
issue?
the big one.
That's a hard one.
yeah,
man.
it is.
That's a hard one.
yeah, you're telling me.
It's a
Yeah,
very
BPD is
difficult
a tough one. BPD with bipolar, and like these are the things that she's diagnosed with, and
Yeah.
she's you know I don't want to go too much into it because
Right.
but it's also one of those things where I am just curious about it, and I don't you're not BPD and you're not
No.
BPD,
No.
but
I'm OCD.
yeah.
I don't know what you are.
No,
I have
I've
I have
Googled it.
tripolar disorder.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the third?
How is AJ the most mentally healthy one? of
Right. What's the
people on
third?
the
What's
show?
the
This
third
group?
one?
What'd you say, Tommy?
What's the try?
I don't
the
know what you're
third one?
talking about.
And that is
I think you're being
dismissiveness.
really insensitive.
Mhm.
Is she on meds?
She's not right now.
That's what needs to happen.
yeah, and that's what we're trying to get
Yeah.
her to is to get the meds. But I also know finding the right meds is a fucking nightmare because you've gone through
yeah.
the
It can be a
the
bitch.
gauntlet of finding the right meds. But when you get on them,
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah.
Mine have
weeks.
really worked.
Mine
I'll
have
let
too,
you. I
yeah.
mean, please go
No, no,
first
no, you're fine.
I'm really curious. Like I have this bad habit of talking endlessly. Like I figured out something just because I'm like a
You know,
couple percentage points better than I was. But like, what worked for you?
Well, so I was on meds for almost 10 years, about the same. And around COVID, when it first started, I like needed to add an additional med to that. And then this past March-ish, I think, I went in and said I needed to be on something else.
Okay.
And honestly, the first switch she put me on worked. I
Okay.
had like minimal side effects.
What were you dealing with, if you don't? mind my asking?
Depression, anxiety.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like major depressive disorder, not
okay.
not any
Fucking bitch disorder.
fucking
There we go.
bitch
There's the
disorder.
Oh,
yeah.
stupid
I
fucking
cry
bitch
a lot.
disorder.
Not so much anymore, but
Well, that's good
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that is something like she cries endlessly, and that's never the thing. Like when I've
The
gone through like
worst.
my bouts of like severe depression, it's
Mhm.
never like crying or anything. It's more of a numbness where you're just like it's more of the like sitting in bed, not doing anything, losing interest in anything that I had, and just kind of floating through life, but not really feeling as deeply. And she feels things so deeply.
Yeah.
And I try to just, I'm like, let's take one step in the right direction. Let's do one thing. Let's just, let's get dressed, that kind of thing, like those little things,
Yeah.
and move it along. And it's been she's on the other side of it now. Now we're trying to get to the doctor and get prescriptions and everything, but even that's going to take some time.
Let me a quick
Yeah.
side question. How old were you both? Just
Mhm.
when you recognized that you might, like, now looking back, how many years were you suffering from some kind of affliction before you sought true treatment? Like, not just talking to friends, but like a medical professional.
I've always been kind of pro doctor immediately kind of thing.
Okay.
So I think maybe 6 months to a year before I got on meds.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So for
That's what I do for my job now too.
So for me, it was around 18 or 19. I had like my first panic attack,
Right.
and I started doing talk therapy,
hmm
and that helped a little bit. But I wasn't. When you're just doing talk therapy, if you're not completely honest about things, and a lot of things I still wasn't honest with myself about. So there was a lot of things that I was very unhappy with regarding my parents and the religion I was brought up in that I still wasn't letting go of.
You can't
And
even recognize it at that
I couldn't.
age.
I really
Yeah.
You
couldn't.
don't know the world.
And now that I think of it, that was actually a little bit later on. If I'm doing the math on it, yeah, I think it was actually 22. I think it was after the Philippines.
yeah.
So like this is like when I'm 22 or 23, going through some therapy, and because I remember talking to this therapist and like telling her how like I'm constantly distracting myself with movies or TV and stuff, and she's like, "Okay, so that's how you fall asleep." I'm like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Well, that's not healthy."
Right.
I'm like, "But it's working for me," and she's like, "Okay," but like I didn't even really go that deep because then it was another probably 10 or so years before I started going to a therapist again, and that's when I was way more honest and really unpacked a lot of the things
Right.
that were keeping me from just being honest with myself.
So I've got like a bunch of thoughts on. So the first time I didn't recognize, I knew that something was different
Mhm.
about me when I was about 11. I just knew like my OCD, something
Yeah.
about the way my brain worked terrified me about little things about the world. Like I knew that, and I got medicated now maybe about a year and a half ago. I'll tell you, my life has changed tenfold.
Mhm.
Some things that I did even before I got on medication. So my therapist, I got a really good therapist in Arkansas. I was with her for almost 6 years before I finally made the switch to some kind of medication. So the talk therapy kind of held things at bay, and then it kind of just it has this
Sometimes you need it,
nasty
yeah.
ability, like almost like a creeper vine, like it just claws its way back into your brain. OCD does. That she was like, okay, go get it's called gene site testing, where they look at your genetic profile. It's a little bit expensive. It's worth it. The first medication I tried that the gene site recommended worked.
Yeah.
So I have OCD. I take Prestique. And when I started, I think it was 50 milligrams. A month later, I upped it to 100. And I think I've stayed at 100
How
now.
many do you take? How many a day?
It's just one.
Just one.
It's just
odd
one.
number. That's not good.
Huh? It's a high number. But it works. It
Yeah.
works for me, and I've enjoyed probably the best 2 years of my life. I will say that I did
What's
some.
so funny about that is I was thinking the exact same thing.
One
I'm
of
like,
the odd
ooh,
numbers.
what? I was
Thanks
like,
for not
odd
slapping
numbers.
the table
Right,
this
yeah, I
week.
don't like it.
What?
Thanks for not slapping the
Yeah,
They
table.
don't
this
come
week.
in. They don't
welcome.
come in 1
That's what I'm in
milligram
therapy for
increments.
now.
So thank God it's not 100 pills. It's just
Right.
one
Right.
pill.
Yeah.
But before that, I tried everything, like
Mhm.
exercise, meditation,
Mhm.
Right.
cryotherapy, acupuncture. Like I went through the rigmarole
Yeah.
and I studied it so much that I've contemplated now going back to school for like graduate studies.
Yeah.
And instead of an MBA, I've really honestly thought earnestly about, can I do something in this
that
area,
field, yeah.
in the mental health field?
Yeah.
Because there's business professionals suffer with this stuff all the time.
Right.
And BPD is an incredibly interesting and very ill understood area of mental health.
Yeah. It's very, very. I mean, I don't want to say new, but they
Barely
they're
have a
all-
DSM for, like, they
Right.
don't know how to diagnose.
Yeah.
diagnosing it's
Yeah.
is difficult, and then also just treatment is very difficult to come by. Like it's very just hard to kind of crack that egg.
Right. I tried
like
to,
OCD, that's easy.
look, there's like John Hopkins University is doing some interesting work in the psychedelics field as well, right? And they
Yeah, I was listening to someone talk about that today on a podcast. And
Yeah.
it was it like the psilocybin in a lot of psychedelics is really combating those effects, and
Right.
it's so
yeah, the best
let's
way
do
I've
some acid.
I've the best way I've heard it described is people with the certain affliction, whatever is OCD, BPD,
Mhm.
anxiety, depression, their brain tends to track those neural pathways the same way over and over again, kind of like a sled down a hill. And psychedelics allow you to kind of have a fresh snow. So you
Right.
can kind of set new pathways and establish new routines. I've heard it from comics. I've
Yeah.
heard it from people. And I know that if the
Comics and people, not
Comics
the
and
same.
people.
Well,
but honestly,
I differentiate between comedians and
yes.
civilians, right?
Like the way that comics talk about
Civilians.
other comics, it is very much like we're in some sort of service or
Bubble.
club, and everybody else is just regular.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
it's-
I think we have a good understanding that we are on some level psychotic. Like
Yeah.
we are a group of crazies.
but there's
ourselves.
no one consistent psychosis other than here's what I have to say.
Yeah, I
And
want your attention.
it can be the silliest thing, or
Yeah.
it could be a very poignant thing. But it's just like, I want your attention while I'm here. And some
Yeah.
people want it while they're off stage, but every comic while they're on stage, they want it. Just look at me and listen to me,
Yeah.
so that I can say these things
Mhm.
that I think are funny. And I like that John Mulaney pointed out. It's like not all of it's darkness. Like there's
Right.
not. We're not all like these like dark, sad. Like it's like anything. Like everybody goes through their phases of, excuse me, ups and downs. But it's not just
Well,
like
you
we're
know.
all like getting off stage, and as soon as we're off stage, we're like, oh, I'm the saddest motherfucker. Like it's not,
Some of
it's
us
not
are.
that.
Yeah. the
Some
irony
are.
is that you're invoking John Mulaney's name, and his down is playing the Q on Friday. Like,
Yeah.
it's like whatever 10,000 seats.
Well, that's. I mean, if he hadn't had the relapse that he had, he'd probably still be at Playhouse Square. But because he had that whole like relapse and everything, it made him a bigger name, and everybody's like, yeah, I think he's funny, but what the fuck
Right,
happened? He's
right.
like,
Yeah, tell
well,
us the
come
story.
see me and find out.
At $69.99 a ticket.
Yeah.
Two things though that I've consistently seen about BPD. One, the BPD kind of self-resolves around the age of 30 something.
Okay.
And the second part is that it
7 more years.
requires a ton of strong familial support.
Yeah.
So like BPD sufferers tend to think of themselves as isolated and really try to operate
Yeah.
in the world and influence
Yeah.
it to match what they need, unless you join a wolf pack that's so strong that it's like, hey, you're either one of us or you're not at all,
Right,
and
yeah.
then they are faced with the choice to choose.
To either like shape up or ship out.
So
in
yeah,
their own mind.
find
Yeah.
your daughter wolf pack.
Yeah, I will. I will.
Make her Indian.
and
That's
by the
easiest
by the
way. we
yeah,
don't
I'll
give
just
a
have,
shit.
can you and Zarna just take her on the road with you?
Yeah.
BPD is borderline personality disorder.
Yes,
for those-
started
yeah,
there,
we should have
yes.
started there. But all right, there's the mental health part of the show. Now I want to get into Corn Kid,
Man,
which AJ hasn't even seen it yet. So I sent it
Wait,
to
you
you.
haven't?
No, I don't know what
I
corn
sent
kid
it
is.
to
know
you.
who Corn Kid is?
No.
I sent
Corn
it
Kid
to-
is a symptom of our societal illness. It's really what he is. It's not his fault.
Where would you text it to me?
I sent it on Instagram.
Jamie, pull up Corn Kid.
Yeah, right. I am the Jamie.
You're
so
the Jamie.
I really like cone.
What do you like about corn?
Ever since I was told that cone was real, it tasted good.
Bill, stop
Did you
this.
think corn wasn't real?
But when I tried it with butter, everything changed. I love cone. Cone.
You ever
Cone.
eaten corn?
I hate it.
Has to like it to be the best.
Yeah.
One just has to try it. Have a bite.
What else are your favorite things?
I play a variety of games.
What the?
Hide and seek, tag, double lava monster.
Never.
See cone. I mean, then look at this then. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's cone.
At Guantanamo Bay, they would play Rage Against the Machine
Corn, somebody's never tasted it before?
A
on loop.
big lump with knobs. It has the juice. It's the part that mostly makes me like the cone.
How much do you think corn should cost?
So that's
Just a pun about corn.
yeah. It's just a pun about corn.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not. Stop
Here's
it.
the thing. Before you say what you're about to say, is the kid's 100% fucking right. Corn is wonderful. I love corn.
Yeah. Well, do you pronounce it cone?
Cow.
Yeah, but he's a kid.
Do you say baro?
He's a
Bado.
child. Raj.
I learned English as a child. You know
How many
why?
languages do you speak?
Why?
4. And English is one of them because the Queen of England, who everyone feels very sorry for some
don't
reason.
know.
We'll get to her.
No.
Let's
Forced
focus on corn,
beat that
kid.
language into my people, so I learned how to pronounce corn correctly
Okay.
and butter.
He's a baby. He's a child.
No, I get it. My problem is not with Tariq Corn Kid. My problem is not with him. My problem is.
But you
with,
gotta admit, he
America.
is kind of adorable and
No,
cute.
he's adorable.
Yeah.
Okay, speech impediment and all. He's an adorable little kid.
I don't even know if it's a speech
It
impediment.
is a speech.
Yes,
okay,
that
whatever.
is. Yes, that
I
is,
don't care.
right?
However
I think
you
it's a speech
pronounce,
impediment. Yeah.
however you say
Yeah.
corn.
Now you can't say it
butter,
right.
It's glued into my brain. Whatever. It's not. I'm not mad.
This
at
is the OCD
him.
coming out a little bit. Maybe
Yeah.
you need to take 2 a
I'm
day.
not mad at. I'm not
Well,
mad
what,
at.
what are you so mad about?
I'm mad at a society that looks at this kid and because we're so desperate, we have no ability at this point to live in the middle. We can never be happy enough with just, life is 25% good or 25% bad. It's either 100% good or 100% bad. And so we choose icons, any semblance of innocence and happiness that reminds us of a better time, whether it's shit-ass Thanksgiving food or Corn Kid. We choose it and we deify it to a level that is ridiculous. And what we don't recognize is that Corn Kid, 10 years from now, is going to be in high school and kids are going to be beating him up, stuffing his locker with corn, asking him if he still likes corn so much. They're going to be dumping corn on that kid's head in the lunchroom. I don't even know how American high school works, but it seems like a cruel place.
I don't know.
Counterpoint.
I thought-
I'm just
Counterpoint here.
Damn, he would be-
Counterpoint. When the Cash Me Outside girl came out, everybody was like, this girl is going to be addicted to drugs and blah, 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 this, that.
And she's like, what-
worth $50 million
Yes,
now.
and she's probably still addicted to America's a weird place. For every what's her name?
bad baby.
baby.
Bad baby. For every one of those people, there's also a yodel kid. The cautionary tale of yodel kid. You remember that motherfucker?
He's got hits. He's touring. He's
No,
doing his
he's
thing.
not touring. He
He's
was
doing it.
yodeling, and they put him on the American Idol tour for one season. And the next time I saw him, he was yodeling at a fucking Walmart in front of the Corn Pops. Okay, and it broke my
Corn
heart.
Pops.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But
No,
don't.
he started.
Listen to me.
He started in the Walmart. Now he's back because he doesn't forget his roots.
okay, he
That's
doesn't-
country music,
Yeah, but
motherfucker.
sometimes I'm trying to buy fucking Corn Pops, and there's a kid yodeling in front of the cereal. Get the fuck out of there.
Where are you buying corn pops?
Arkansas.
I've never
Arkansas.
Where I'm from.
Oh well, that's yeah. Well,
Okay, look.
Wait,
all right.
was it the same kid yodeling, or some other kid trying to get discovered?
How many other kids are out there wearing a cowboy hat yodeling in the cereal aisle?
In Arkansas, a lot.
No.
that's all I imagine.
Okay,
Arkansas
yeah.
is
all right,
being.
fine. Here's another one, right? Remember another cute little kid that we said, oh, look, he's so cute. He's in movies and stuff, and he's got his hands on either side of his face.
Macaulay Culkin.
10 years later, Macaulay Culkin, he peaked out at the age of 8, and then for the next 20 years, he's like, how do I find happiness? Do I date Mia Kunis? Or do I date Michael Jackson?
Yeah, he seems
What do I
pretty
do?
okay.
And he did get to date Mila Kunis.
It sounds like he's winning.
and
yeah.
And now
He's
what
doing
is he doing?
He looks good now.
Drugs.
No,
No, he's cleaned up.
He's cleaned
He's
up.
cleaned up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
There's
think-
plenty of people that weren't famous that got addicted to
I
drugs.
think the only
I don't
person-
think you need to put this on.
I think the reason
that.
Corn Kid and this whole phenomenon affects me is because I think I'm going to end up so fucking stressed out by all of it that I'm going to do drugs and end up on the side of the street.
Well, you just gotta
eating
do the
corn.
right drugs. If you do,
If they're
something with
psychedelics, then maybe.
psilocybin, you're
But
gonna
I
be
just
fine.
don't-
Yeah, we can use psychedelics to smooth out your brain so we can
I don't want
form some new tracks with where you go. You know what? I'm just gonna take Corn Kid for what he is—a cute kid that says corn funny.
But that's not. Look, okay. So
Cone.
the Huskers gave him a scholarship, right?
Yeah.
The Huskers said, "We'll give you a scholarship."
Right, and he's probably testing better than most of the kids at that school
in
anyway.
okay, there was a Chipotle ad with him where he
Yeah.
walked down the aisle, this little kid,
Yeah.
right? And they didn't say, well, what would you like? They gave him a script.
Right.
Because he goes down the entire aisle. He's like, I don't want rice. I don't want veggies. I just want cone. And everyone everyone is like, oh wow, this is so cute. It's like this kid is gonna end up diabetic by the age of 16, and we did this as
But
Americans.
again,
had some
that's
corn?
most kids.
It's not. It's okay, and
There's
even
a
if it
lot
is,
of kids that, whether they're famous or not,
He's
are
going-
getting diabetes or being pre-diabetic, and at least he's gonna have a scholarship to go to be a corn
I
husker.
can't wait to see what Raj has to say about that colonialist cunt that died last week. If he's
the part of me that recognizes what this kid is going through is that thing where it's like no matter how much after every comedy show, if you have one person in an audience of 100 that didn't like it, even though 99 people said, oh, this was good, you were good enough today, that one person that goes, you know what, just didn't love your jokes about the Queen and the Cone Kid, that ruins your fucking day. And when you peak out at the age of 8, there aren't many higher places to go. The Huskers offered this kid a
he's gonna be
I
fine.
was gonna say they offered him a cornship. They offered him a scholarship. They offered him a
Do you guys
scholarship.
eat corn in India, by the way?
Yes, tons of it. Except we make it better than you do here. We don't just boil it.
Well, no, I know that
Yeah.
the Indians that discovered
we
corn.
we roast it and then we put different Indians, but yes, we roast it. We put lemon on it and then salt and chili powder, and it's delicious. But my whole point is
Mexican corn.
no, that's good too. They do
Yeah,
that, but then they
that's
put
so
they
good.
put butter. Fuck me. They put butter. They
Wow.
put butter on
Sounds like this fucking
They put
idiot
butter on
can't
it.
talk.
Influence.
It tastes delicious. Corn Kid, I don't even know where I was going.
Did you have a speech impediment when you were a kid?
No, I spoke English just fine.
Do you have a speech impediment in other languages?
No.
Can you? What?
Yeah.
Are you
I
getting
don't know.
one because of your rage for the corn kid?
Yes.
My rage
You're
is not
saying
with the
cone and
corn
butter
kid. This
now.
is what everybody
Right,
gets
well-
wrong. My rage is with how we in America constantly create idols out of nothing, and then those people are left morally and spiritually
Sir,
bereft.
hold on.
I get it.
We create what is the
we
thing?
in America.
Yeah, okay, all right. I'm from a different country, but I pay taxes here. But my point is this, right? What is the thing they say about Voldemort in the first Harry Potter book? He was a mean ghost. He had nothing else left, so he just created chaos around the world. We did this with the Kardashians. We deified a person
We've been
that
doing
really,
this-
for no reason, we just created idols out of them, and then they just walked around creating Reggie Bushes and Kanye West, and they just spawned
Well, Reggie
more
Bush was
negativity.
his own thing, and
Well, that's not like a new. We did that with a certain carpenter
yeah.
that lived in the Middle East.
I'm okay when we do it to adults.
Oh, okay.
Corn Kid
But we
is
did
a
it.
kid.
But we did that to
Kardashians were adults.
The Kardashians were
Corn
adults.
Kid has his own catch. This kid went into a park in New York and said, "Have a corntastic day."
Oh, you're right. Poor fucking kid.
Yeah.
He came up with a T-shirt catchphrase. AJ,
Yeah, good for him.
have a corntastic day.
I wish I could fucking say that. I wish I
But
could.
when
go
you
there-
were 8,
Yeah, when I was 8, I wish I had that moxie
Yeah, but if you did, guess where you'd be now?
and
You'd
having
be
a scout.
wondering why people weren't like, AJ,
I have a fucking
what's
master's
what's
degree
the next
in
thing you
whatever
love?
and whatever the.
Or
One
you-
day, okay,
but I
Corn
think
Kid is
you're
gonna
folk-
grow up
but
and
I
be like,
think-
I like limes, and everyone's gonna be like, no, you like corn, and he's
Well,
gonna be like,
but
no, I don't, I
that's
like
just
other
the-
things.
That's just the classic case of child prodigy grows up and becomes an adult that's just kind of good at violin.
right.
Like, I mean, right. I mean, it's just the same thing. You see something that's just like, oh, that's cute.
I am trying to save Corn Kid's soul. Everyone thinks I'm mad at him. I'm mad at
You're mad at
y'all.
us.
Yes.
Well,
We shouldn't have been so. Well, you know what
I'm
his problem
trying
is?
to protect
You know
him
what Corn
from-
Kid's problem is he shouldn't have been so fucking sexy.
It's just famous.
All right, now you got to protect his soul and his hole.
Right.
yesterday I texted Bill, all right? And he liked my text and then withdrew the like. Because what I said was,
But-
like, I want to talk about
no-
the Queen and that fucking, and I also want to talk about the fucking Corn Kid.
If you're not as fiery about the Queen,
But
I am much
I
more
unliked
so.
it by accident. It was literally, I didn't even notice it until you said something.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that was
But
an
the text
accident.
implied that I was wanting to talk about fucking the Corn Kid, and I wanted to talk about the fucking Corn Kid.
oh, that's what
fucking
it sounded
kid.
like.
Nice.
Raj,
That kid is precious and he's everything that's right and good in this world. And the more we monetize it, okay, like even the Huskers giving him the scholarship to study agriculture it's a trap because, okay, so what if he grows up and he's like, I want to study physics, and they're like, no, you study corn. That's what you do.
I don't think
It's
that's
I don't
gonna
think, I don't
happen.
think
That's not
anyone's going to do
gonna
that. I think
happen. No one's gonna do that.
I think you're projecting a lot onto this kid.
Did this happen to
I think
you?
you gotta
This
let
is
it
what
happen.
Indian society is, dude. you fucking tell one joke one time in 6th grade and it's not good, and they're like, no, you're gonna be a doctor. And then you're not good at anything science or mathematics related, and then you can't be a stand-up comedian.
So then you have to come to America to do it? But they don't even have a scene there anyway, bud. You're going to be okay.
No, we have a massive scene in India.
Are there good stand-up comics in India?
But don't they get like
There's
arrested all
80
the
stand-up
time?
comics, and all of them are eating dinner off of their
Comedy.
stand-up money.
Yeah.
And nothing else.
Oh, shit, I should move to India and be a stand-up.
There's dangers to it too. It's not.
What was their dangers?
Well, you can't always criticize certain things, and
Oh, I just write my fucking
people go to
poop
jail and such.
Yeah, but
butt
like
jokes.
some of the dark jokes that you do, you might get in trouble still.
in India. Yeah.
Anywhere.
Honestly, here, like, you just called the corn kid sexy. Like,
That was I was half joking.
It's the
Someone
other
out
half.
there thinks the other
Cute.
half.
Good job.
And maybe that's what you're trying to say, Raj. Is that some fucking creepy guy out there is looking at Corn Kid going, ooh.
That's not what he's
No,
saying.
that's not what I'm saying.
No?
At
Oh, that's what
all.
I picked
I'm
up.
saying American society at large is the creepy guy going, oh, you remind me so much of my youth. Stay here forever.
but there's
we are
also,
all Peter Pan.
but that's also a thing that
People are gonna forget.
people forget
who
about
he
it,
is.
and like I think he'll be fine. I think he'll do
Honestly,
just
I
fine.
already forgot
I mean,
about
like,
him.
Okay.
where,
I mean,
where's
you
the
say
Charlie
that.
bit my finger kid? Like nobody cares.
Where's
anymore.
Amanda Bynes?
But that,
Mental institution.
right? But there's
but
look at all the other kids on her show that are fine.
Like who?
I don't know.
Kenan
the
Thompson
other ones.
Exactly.
turned out okay.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, because we kept giving him attention. We're part of a comedy contest that a million comedians are somehow part of in the United States.
Yeah,
And he's
so
done
for
well.
that
He's
shit.
on SNL. He's a talented guy. Where's Kel?
He's doing
Who
okay.
loves orange soda?
Yeah.
Kel does.
I think he's like
Who
an
loves
editor.
Kel?
I think
We
he-
don't know.
I love Kel.
I love Kel too.
Kel's out there doing things.
Kel is
They did like a
corn kid.
They had a big year of
reunion a
corn
few-
on
yeah.
all that. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was like
Sorry,
the.
I just yelled myself into a headache on one side
All right,
of my
can we talk
brain.
about the Queen now?
All right, now
Because I
let's
wanna
get
talk,
into-
this is a
the
guy I've been
Queen.
wanting to talk to about the Queen.
yeah.
I
Do you still have anything left?
I've got so much in this tank. Let's start with quick major developments in my life that allow me to speak the truth for once. I quit my job last Monday, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was burnt out, and I was just like, you know what? And sometimes I've been here for 14 years now. I've held my tongue a lot, and a lot of times I haven't. But I think with this whole Queen business, I did some jokes at Hilarities last week, and you could sense the shocked silence that people, like older white people in the audience, could not believe that I would be so disrespectful to the queen of a different country that they don't belong to.
Right.
Right?
But also, I don't
Well,
think.
you
I
also
thi-
have to remember the U.S. and the U.K. have a special relationship.
What is the special
I
relationship?
don't know. That's just always what they told us.
Yeah.
It's like we have a special. We
relationship?
have a special relationship.
Yeah, you're all white,
we get,
they're white,
We
that's
get
it.
together
We
better
have-
as allies
That's
than
it.
we're better to get apart than together.
Hang
That's
on. weren't they calling you guys terrorists when you decided to form your own country? Isn't that the
Of course,
foundation
yeah,
of America?
right. That was like 300 years.
All right, so no, like 200 years ago, you were Al Qaeda to them.
yeah.
All right,
Right.
and now you have a special relationship because they couldn't
We have
beat
a
you.
Special. No, but 30 years ago, Al Qaeda was our little tin soldiers.
We had
That's how quick things work.
And yes, we had a special relationship at that point. Things soured.
We had a special relationship.
I just think a lot of people
I don't
try.
take any of that personal.
Well, people just try to make the queen out to be like this innocent old lady,
Yeah.
which she was not.
I like the Sex Pistols.
Well, I like Queen, the band Queen.
Oh, they're great.
Hey, guess what? You know where
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury is from?
Egypt, right?
Take a fucking guess. He's Indian, grew up in Zanzibar, went to college
No,
at
I
St.
think-
John's in Bombay.
I think he was.
No,
I think he was
Rami
Egyptian.
Malek's in Egyptian.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah, the
right.
guy that played him in the movie.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
the actual guy
Sorry.
is actually he's a Parsi, which is like
Yeah.
Indian Persian community. His family moved to Zanzibar when he was small, and then he came back and did college in Bombay, if I remember right, at St. John's, and then went to the UK and became one of the biggest forces in music history.
Yeah.
So that's the queen I like. The other queen, not so much a fan. And a lot of
Right.
people, I'm not celebrating her
I
death.
think a lot of people don't understand the history though.
Right.
Right.
And so
yeah.
all they like their knowledge of the queen is just the photo ops, and they hear about some little charity thing here and there.
Yeah, they saw a
don't-
Disney movie once, and
Right.
they think that this lady is who it's based on.
and they don't understand all that she oversaw and all that she's a part of and tied to with the British Empire and how
Right.
garbage that is.
You know that cute little crown they laid on her coffin with the gigantic diamond on
Yeah.
top? That gigantic diamond was taken from a 12-year-old
Yeah.
prince, actually a king of Punjab in India.
Yep.
It was taken. And if you look at, there's a picture of
Like taking diamonds from a
yeah,
baby.
I mean, pretty much. Like it gives-
Prince baby.
there's a picture of her in her early 20s where she's like taking the ascended to the throne from I think Queen Victoria
No,
and is like
her
holding
dad. It was her dad.
whoever the fuck it was.
King.
Dude,
whatever
I
his
went
name
to a
was.
British school my
DiCosimo.
whole life growing up, right? From 3 through about 16, studied British history, and I was only taught Indian history at home by my parents. They start English history at like 1066 when the Magna Carta and like William of
Yeah.
Normandy, that's where they begin it. And we were taught right up until about the 1600s, like the Tudor age and all that,
Yeah.
Henry VIII, and then they just like mysteriously
Jump.
stopped teaching
Yeah.
what happened and skipped over to like Muhammad Ali and all the bad things that America was doing. And it's like, yo, wait, why the fuck do I speak English? I speak English because I have to.
Yeah.
But the only reason I have to is because then that's the colonial legacy. When you see people that are sad about the Queen, cool. I don't think the Commonwealth, the quote unquote Commonwealth, is celebrating the Queen's death. And definitely some people are. I'm not celebrating her death. I care as much about her death as she did about the death of Indian people. Fair? I
Very
think
fair.
that's
Very fair, yeah.
And
fair
I'm-
and square.
Very
And I
fair.
completely understand it. Here's my question. How come white people were so like, let's go take over all this stuff? There's so many Indian people. Why don't you? I mean, you're doing it now.
Now there's a lot of Indian people.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like
we-
you're now is this the reverse? Like we're like, okay, now we're moving to America. We're
we just like
you make these jokes all the time about like moving to
Yeah.
neighborhoods and buying stuff up, but you're doing it obviously in a peaceful way.
we're
for the
we're doing
most-
it through trade.
Yeah.
Legal trade.
Yeah.
And that is what the British would have you convinced that they were doing.
That they were
was
doing.
legally
Yeah.
trading,
Yeah, right.
signing
They-
contracts,
they-
making things happen.
They sent the greatest armada ever assembled.
But you
to
know
go
what?
do some
trading.
legal trading. Yeah.
India's real downfall, and we have to acknowledge our role in this, right? 5,000 British troops took over a nation that was several times larger than they were. And the only reason it happened is because they came in and they called themselves the East India Company. They weren't. It wasn't the British Empire. It was called
Right.
the East India Company.
East India Trading
They
Company.
they came in to trade spices and pretty quickly start to employ
Which-
Indians against each other because we were not the Republic of India that we are today. We were 500 princely kingdoms. So a lot of really small. Imagine fighting between like Parma and Lakewood,
Yeah.
right? Like
That's
that's
how
how
I can-
that's how
Can
localized
totally
the warfare was.
imagine it, and I want to see it.
And if you can
Please.
turn the people of Lakewood against Parma and say, you know, that city ain't that great. Like,
think
consider
I
it
think
done.
already
Consider
happened,
it
people
done.
would do it.
Yeah.
And that's what we did to
Yeah.
each other. The problem is we've continued to do that. And there's been a ton of meddling. I don't understand. I can't be ruled by a guy whose own wife, Charles, Diana, hated him. And even Diana was like, I want a brown dude. You know? She went
Yeah.
off with Dodi Fayed or whatever his name
whatever
was.
his name was. Yeah.
And now Meghan Markle is my hero because she's done what so many couldn't do. She came in and disrupted the ethnographics of the royal family so much so that the queen was just like, "Fuck it, I'm out. Like, I can't deal with it."
She's like, I'm gonna
I-
live for 2 more years.
I might be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure that the queen's staff, she had like a rule instituted, and it wasn't revoked until like the 60s that all her in-house staff had to be white,
Mm.
which is insane. That's insane. If all your wealth is coming from a different country, but the only people that can touch your belongings have to look like you,
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a little bit wild.
No, I think I agree with everything you're saying. I just was.
I think if people are watching this, they're going to be mad. My dad's calling me, so I'm pretty sure he's watching the live stream, and he's like, stop right now.
he would have commented. I feel like. But,
So, yeah.
but no, there's no. I mean, there's-
I have to get a visa to go to the United Kingdom. I have to show biometrics, take all 10 of my fingerprints, a picture of my face, show financial solvency, a legal sponsor. And I do all those things for America too, but America has never invaded India. So I'm a little bit more.
No, we
like,
just
okay,
go after different.
y'all are
places.
just
Well,
rich.
we
and want, you know,
underpay people to work in different industries and stuff.
Yeah.
To
yeah. So
I-
anyway.
but it's because you know English.
I think I'm. I don't know if it's like the COVID or whatever, but I feel lightheaded from just shouting for now. 15
No,
minutes.
you're fine. You were more fiery about the corn kid.
Corn kid.
Yeah,
You
it
were
was,
way more angry about that.
Yeah.
Do you know what pisses me off about the Queen's death?
What's that?
She ruined my fantasy football lineup.
Damn it. I've been doing very well on that. by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah. This is your first year playing fantasy football.
It's entirely
so
automated. I haven't touched it.
Oh,
once.
is this the
It's
Brian
the
Sternick league?
Yeah, the comedians draft.
Oh,
I wasn't invited. Were you invited? To
I was
Brian's?
not invited in it.
Ooh, I'm
Well, no,
so
You know
angry.
what? You know what? I was invited, and then he didn't fucking. He
didn't
told
follow
me he was
up
doing
with
it,
you.
and then he didn't follow up with me, and I was like, dude, I'm in. And then he's like, I'm like, where's the invite? He's like, and then he like ghosted me. So Brian Sternick.
to be
ooh,
fair-
that's who I'm mad at. Not the corn kid, not the Queen. Brian Sternick, you're dead to me, motherfucker.
Do you know, if you remember last year, I don't know anything about the draft.
Yeah.
Bill told me, okay, there's a comedians thing, whatever. So I log into this Zoom meeting where
Yeah.
all the comedians are talking about their draft teams or whatever. And like 30 minutes, I'm like, hey, am I supposed to be doing something? Like, should I be clicking something? And they're like, oh, you never made a team. And fair enough, because at that time I was calling the guy, like I didn't even know the player names. I was calling, I think wasn't it? I was calling Julian Peppers and Arnold Rodgers and shit. I don't know any of this.
Peppers.
I don't know what
That's
is
a
it
cute
Aaron,
name.
Aaron Rodgers and
Julius Peppers.
Julius Peppers.
But he's
But he's
I don't
also
think
been out of the league
he's
for a
been out of the
while.
league for a
Yeah,
while.
so whatever. It's a stupid game where everybody gives each other CTE. That's it. That's,
It's better than
I just
cricket.
want the money. I
We
just
should
wanna
have
win
got
these.
alcohol
I
before.
wanna
I
He
know,
wanted
yeah.
booze. We should have gave it to
I'll
him.
get a couple of drinks in him and ask him about Israel.
I'll tell you about it too. I grew up very close to there. Well, I probably won't.
Well, but you can talk about like you went to high school in that area, right? Like,
Yeah, so I grew up 0 through 3 was India, 3 through 16 was Middle East, Bahrain, or 3 through 15, 16. And then high school was India, and then it was here for college.
okay,
And I've been here for 1 million years now.
yeah.
I feel like a dinosaur in this
1
country.
million.
Here's a fun thing. I thought I was about a month away from getting my green card, right? Up until last month.
Right.
Fun fact about the United States immigration line. So I filed for my green card in September 2015, which was the earliest point in time that I could file. So 4 years on a student visa, something like 3 to 6 years on a work visa, and then filed for my green card. So the line keeps moving forward from the point that you file, September 2015. I'm almost to the point where the government is processing September 2015 as the last month. I look again, the October bulletin comes out, the fucking line jumped back 3 years. So
And why is that?
because they allocate the same number of visas to each country.
Okay.
So a small country, let's say Singapore, right? Tiny nation, you can get a green card within 1 year because
Because
they're trying to keep it
coming
equal.
over. Yeah.
But India, where every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry, for lack of better
There's
names,
no Tom, Dick, and
there are
Harry's in
Toms, Dicks, and
India.
Harrys that wants to come over here is
Every
subject
Aziz,
to
Raj,
waiting
and,
in the same line. So the line sometimes speeds up, sometimes it slows down. When it was COVID, it sped up a lot.
Mhm.
Election season, it speeds up a ton because the Democrats are trying to push as many of
Right.
us through that line as possible so that we
For
can
votes, yeah.
yeah, so we'll get votes and whatnot. So yeah, anyway.
Yeah, wait.
So 3 more years?
I don't. God
Yeah.
knows how long, man.
Yeah.
I have reserved myself to finding a beautiful American woman.
I was gonna ask. Do you
Well,
get
you have a
married
beautiful
to
American
I do.
woman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
it's-
it's great. And I was.
they're
It's funny
doing
because
good
I was
together.
telling her, I was like, we may not even need to get hitched. We've been dating a year and a half now. We may not even need to get hitched in order for the paperwork to come through. No sooner had I said it that the government heard what I said on the internet and was just like, nope. Fuck. They were active listening through.
Nice
my
try,
phone.
motherfucker.
Oh,
Your
we gotcha.
FBI agent was listening.
Reverse
yeah.
the line, Frank.
Yeah.
We need to keep that fucking dipshit out of here as long as we can.
As much
Anybody
as
that's an
possible.
enemy of the corn kid is an enemy
Yeah,
of the
that's right.
United
We
States.
don't need this fucking asshole sullying our beautiful corn.
What if the corn kid is just, what do they call him?
Psyop?
A deep state, a deep state actor to reinvigorate the corn industry that's given way to soybean crops.
I think you're thinking too much about this, Raj.
I think you're not thinking enough.
You're right.
You're probably it's somewhere in the middle.
Right.
Probably
Yeah.
somewhere in the middle. I feel like. I mean,
So anyway,
I like
I-
corn on the cob a lot.
I'm sorry, I yelled a lot about Corn Kid and the Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just I don't know what the right solution is anymore.
The right solution is, honestly, in my opinion, focus on yourself and
I have
do
an
what
idea.
you can do.
I have an idea.
Here we go.
Let's go kill the queen.
Well,
Let's get up right now and just go kill her. We'll go
You
to
can say
England
that.
right now.
I had
We'll
a-
kill the queen.
I had a weird thought for redemptive justice, right?
Bring her back to life.
Exactly. If the queen is a zombie, then I get to kill her, but it's not a crime because she's a zombie. So
Because
everyone
zombie,
wants
that's a
me
good
do
thing
it,
to do. Yeah, you're supposed
right?
to kill zombies.
You got to kill zombies. You got to let them rest.
You know what I would do if the queen was? I'd 69 with her.
Thanks for checking out the Bill Squire Show. We got Raj here. Follow him on all social media at Raj Does Comedy. AJ DiCosimo at AJ DiCosimo on Twitter and Instagram. At Tommi LC on Instagram, Twitter, OnlyFans, many vids.
Yeah, just list.
What's
you need a
the
list behind
Fansly?
me now. So
all
many
that
things.
stuff.
All of the
And
things.
then, yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
This is the Bill Squire Show.